Can We Be? Part 4. A fanfiction based on the Miraculous ladybug series. She felt his pull around her waist, slow and steady. She could have backed out easily, but why didn't she? Anticipating his lips, Ladybug closed her eyes shut as Chat Noir leaned in. Her pulse sped up, heat rising up to her cheeks. His warm breath caressed her skin as she felt his arms tighten around her. And his hand on her cheek, underneath the spandex, was a familiar scent that she couldn't pinpoint. But before she could ponder any further, the scent slipped away, leaving her skin to tingle in the pouring rain. Chat's warmth was gone. The cold engulfed her again, a growing frost underneath her suit. She slowly opened her eyes, expecting to see Chat Noir's emerald gaze on her, but she was met with the giant rails of the Eiffel Tower in the mist of the storm. No sign of a black cat anywhere. Claws in. Adrien marched his way to his bed, frustration puppeteering his every step. To wonder the level of insanity he'd been in to have done that. Most definitely mad. But the moment had been right, hadn't it? The dance, her smile, the absence of any sense of rejection. Of course, she hadn't said yes, per se, but his thoughts were too tangled, and the last thing he had was the patience to carefully pull them apart. The strength he thought he had began to dissipate, and his eyes began to grow heavier and heavier with each passing minute. So he gave in to the fatigue and slipped under his blanket and drifted off. By the time she'd made it back home, the sky had cleared in time for the dawn sky. Jumping up to her balcony and into her room, Ladybug detransformed, a strange ache in her chest from yesterday despite the night's events being nothing more than a blur.
Marinette, are you okay?
She couldn't respond. She didn't know how to answer. It was like a bitter aftertaste she couldn't wash away with anything else. With what strength she had left, Marinette dragged herself to the bathroom to freshen up. It was almost time for her shift at the bakery anyway. She could just go to bed earlier tonight, or sleep in since it was a Saturday. But as she stared into the mirror, she couldn't help but see the emerald eyes from last night, as they got closer and closer. The intensity they'd carried was unreal, and even more so up close. And merely seeing his lips had been enough to understand just how soft and gentle they would have been, and... Marinette, are you awake? Her mom's voice broke her train of thought.
Yes, Mama, I'm on the way down.
Splashing water on her face and patting it dry, she made her way downstairs. Good morning, she said, hoping the fatigue wasn't too obvious. She was met with a familiar voice, but it wasn't her mother's. Good morning, Marinette. A jolt made its way through her body.
Adrien? Hi! Hey! What are you doing here?
Well, I just thought I'd come by and see you.
I see.
Seriously, what was with this timing? Marinette couldn't tell if it was the lack of sleep or the fear rushing through her brain that made her sick to her stomach. What could she even say? Adrien was the last person with whom she would be able to have a normal conversation. Here, take these up to Marinette's room to have. As unpleasant as the ongoing silence had been, This suggestion urged her to roundhouse kick Adrien out the front door.
All right, Mama. Let's go?
Reluctantly, Marinette turned around the way she'd come, dreading the moments soon to pass with just Adrien. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Just the two of them. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was part 4 of Can We Be, a fanfiction based on the Miraculous Ladybug series. Apologies for the length. Part 5 is intended to be much longer than this. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts and suggestions if you have them. If you'd like to stay tuned for future videos or have not subscribed to this channel yet, please make sure to do so and turn on the notification bell to be notified every time I post. Until the next time!